In this video, I will show you 3 unique universe mode setups to help you have the most fun and unique universe mode possible. Now, these universe mode setup ideas are for you to tinker with and change their baseline ideas for you to hopefully get creative off of, but I think that they could be a lot of fun for a universe mode when done right. So number 1 is creating a rankings system similar to what you see in boxing or MMA. Now, shout out to my man P. Duarte, because I was thinking about this and kind of jotting down ideas for this video, and he commented on one of my videos and even expanded on this idea. So shout out to you for giving me even more ideas and our community more ideas on how you can make this possible. But you can do this a number of different ways. You can have one major title on the men's and women's side, 2 major titles, or a major and a minor title on the men's and women's side that superstars are going after. You can also divide the superstars up by weight class as well. If you wanted to do that, you could have a cruiserweight champion, a light heavyweight champion, a heavyweight champion, and then again do the same on the women's side. It's completely up to you. I personally like to set this up with having 4 just weekly shows. So similar to how UFC just has like UFC fight nights, that could be your Raws, your SmackDowns, or whatever you want to brand that to. And then having 1 major show a month, 1 PLE a month. And again, you can keep these PLEs themed like they are in real life. Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, etc. Or you can have them be, again, more like UFC, where you could just have WWE 1, WWE 2, WWE 3, all the way up to, WWE 100, WWE 101. And you can do it that way as well. A lot of these will be singles matches, but you could also do triple threats and fatal 4-ways and 6-ways. That's the advantage that you have with wrestling over MMA, is not everything has to be one-on-one. But I do like this idea of a ranking system. For me personally, how I normally do ranking systems, and I'll show you guys actually here in the game, I just do them within the game. So you can see here, I've set up just Raw, I took out NXT, I took out SmackDown, I just have Raw. This is kind of going to be my minor shows where I'm going to have some of those people ranked lower in the rankings fighting each other, trying to move up. And then the champions and the higher ranked superstars that I have will be on that PLE. And this kind of allows you the flexibility to put together like really fun matches. Similar again to UFC, puts together really stylistically good fights. And it also, you can have your champions only fight a couple times a year if you'd like, if you have multiple champions. Again, that's kind of completely up to you how much you want to lean into like the MMA side of it. But this is how I have it set up. And then I actually would just use this power ranking system or this division system to just do it this way. You can also keep a spreadsheet as well. And I'll show you here on the screen a quick spreadsheet I put together that you can do that would be really easy to keep track of. But you can just use the game as well and just completely set these up. Just make sure that you move all of your superstars over to one brand. Because as you can see here, when I get to the US title, the women's WWE title, the cruiserweight title, there's not really anybody here because I haven't moved everyone from SmackDown over. So just make sure that if you do that, you go up to participants and you add everybody that you want to have, because if not, you're going to run out of superstars pretty quickly. So next up is, again, taking from a different sport and kind of trying to implement the idea into wrestling. And that is the idea of promotions and demotions. Now, this is similar to some soccer or football leagues out there that you may be fans of. I am not a huge soccer fan, but I do really like the idea of promoting, demoting, making those things mean something. And so how can that translate into a wrestling game? So I would start off with having 1 major brand and 1 minor brand. So if you wanted to make that Raw and SmackDown, you could do that, but it's completely up to you. But I would have 1 major brand and 1 minor brand, similar to having like 1 larger league than the next in soccer, right? I would then set up 2 matches a month for each superstar. So get a set number of superstars for each brand and then make a men's and women's division. So let's just say you wanted to do 15 for each. So 15 men, 15 women, 30 total on your minor brand, and then 30 total on your major brand as well. Each win would be worth a certain amount of points. So in this instance, I would make each win worth 3 points. Again, this is similar to hockey format or soccer format. Each win would be worth 3 points. A loss, but if you're not pinned, would be equal to a point. And then if you are pinned, it's a -1. So this would probably eliminate tag teams completely. I don't want to eliminate triple threats, fatal 4-ways, 6-ways, being able to do elimination chambers, things like that. So if you are not pinned in, say, a triple threat match or a fatal 4-way match, then you would get a point. And I think that would add kind of a fun element to the scoring, right? It's similar to like a draw, or in hockey, if you go to overtime, you get a point because you didn't lose in regulation. So I like the idea of something being worth 1, and the idea of not being pinned worth 1, I do like that. And then if you are pinned, it's just worth -1. So if you're in a one-on-one match and you're pinned, you would lose a point. Now, you could set it up if you'd like, where if it's a one-on-one match, it's just they're playing for 3 points or 0, but only the triple threats and aboves, the 3-way matches or aboves, this comes into play. You could certainly do that as well, but I like that idea. Now we also have to define what is a season and when do these points stop and when are the promotions and demotions taking place. So I like the idea of having 2 matches a month for each superstar. So make sure that you don't make your roster too crowded, but also not crowded enough. You want to find that sweet spot where each person can have 2 matches a month. So that will be 24 matches total for each superstar. Now you are going to have to keep track of this scoring. You can write it down or again use some sort of spreadsheet. So each season would be 24 matches total. After that, you would add up all of the scoring on both your major and your minor brand. Then you would just simply take whatever amount of superstars you would like from your minor brand and they would be promoted into the major brand. And then you could also take the major brand and whoever had the least amount of points would be demoted into the minor brand. What you could also do is you could just have one person and that would just be whoever is your minor league champion get promoted into the major league, and then also having a championship in your major brand where the top superstars are fighting for it at the end of the season. But the major and minor brands, I'm still like 50-50 on, but I do like the idea of there being some sort of reward for being at the top of the minor brand at the end of that year. More than just a title, you could have like, say, someone start out in your minor brand, say like a Johnny Gargano, for example, and he could win your minor brand, get promoted, and then move all the way up from the bottom to the top. Be a pretty cool underdog story. I don't know. And then last but not least, this one is a little bit, I don't know. This one is just, it's a small thing, but it's actually something I thought of recently that I thought was a really kind of cool idea that I actually think WWE should consider in the future. So again, I'm going back to different sports and kind of plucking ideas from them. And I like how in the UFC, they used to have where title matches were 5 rounds, and then they changed to most main events are 5 rounds now on the major shows, and I believe the minor shows as well, but I could be wrong on that, whether it's a championship match or not. And sometimes you'll see negotiations where, oh, that fighter only wanted it to be a 3-round fight, so they'll negotiate that. But more times than not, the main event is a 5-round fight. And so I like that it's different. And I was actually thinking about this when I was watching Money in the Bank, because during the Bloodline matches, they have to do the ref bump a lot so they can get to the stuff that would be disqualified otherwise. And I just kind of was like, why don't they just make it where all the main events are no DQ? I guess there would have to be some sort of something in there about interference not being a part of that, but at least having it to where you can hit somebody with a chair. You can put somebody through a table. There's no count out. Like, at least have that where the main events just feel a little bit different, because if not, you just have the ref bump. And this would allow the main events to be a little bit more fun. You don't have to use the weapons if you don't want. They're kind of there. Fighters don't always go 5 rounds, but sometimes you want an awesome fight to go 5 rounds. Sometimes the fact that the fights are 5 round kind of sucks because the fight's boring. Other times it's really great they're 5 rounds. In this instance, it would be cool. Sometimes it's no DQ. Other times it's just there. And then there's other times, say Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, for example, or Elimination Chamber, where they're already no DQ matches. So you don't even have to worry about that. Similar to how they're already title fights in UFC. So you don't have to worry about the 5 rounds. They're already there. but it's just adding that extra bonus to those non-specialized PLEs like a Bad Blood or like a Backlash or something like that. So in order to set this up in universe mode, it's actually really easy. You just want to go to those tables. And so I'll do SummerSlam because Money in the Bank already has tables set for the ladder matches. But if I want to do SummerSlam, all you have to do is go to the match table, and then you're just going to set a one-on-one match. And again, you can do whatever you want. You could have every main event be a last man standing if you want. Me, I'm just going to go no holds bar, and I'm going to make it the main event. Again, it doesn't have to be a title match if I don't want it to be, and there's a 100% chance that it's going to be the main event. So it's a 100% chance that there's a no holds bar match if you're just simming through and not setting anything up. And if you don't want it to always be one-on-one, you could do triple threat, you could do fatal four-way, you would have to do extreme rules, but we all know that's the same exact thing. And again, you can just set that up. That way, it's guaranteed that it's going to be one of these. And you could just do 33% on each. Make one 34. That way it equals 100. And there you go. And again, you don't have to check these all for championship if you don't want. But again, this would just ensure that your main event at your PLEs would be a no holds bar. I know a lot of people just set their own universe mode matches, so they don't really need to set up those tables. But if you don't like to do that, then you can, and you can see our main event is a fatal four-way extreme rules match for no title, so we probably have to go back and check off the title, but you get the point. So there you go. That's 3, I think, kind of different, I don't know, kind of unique universe mode setups. Again, promotion and demotions. That's like a half-baked idea. I'm there with it. It's somewhere, but I need to put it in the oven a little bit longer and have it cook around the edges. The PLE main event being some sort of no DQ or extreme rules match, I do really like that idea. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that one specifically, because I do really like that idea. Again, just adding something different to your main event, and if it's a specialized PLE, then you don't have to add anything at all because you already have that special match. And then lastly, the ranking system. I know that's one that, I mean, even like AEW uses a ranking system, so that's not something that's completely unheard of, but I do think it's something cool and something different that you can use in the game. Thank you all again for watching. As always, let me know what you thought of these ideas in the comment section down below. I greatly appreciate all the support and the views and everything that you guys give to the channel. It's always appreciated. Be on the lookout for more WWE content as always very soon, and I will see you all in the next video.